O'Reilly Auto Parts Series started racing here in 1992. Today, the 40th chapter is written at Talladega Superspeedway. 113 laps, 300 miles. The car's coming through the tri-oval, and they will see the green flag. It's time to go racing at Dega.
You saw the hand out the window there of Jesse Love trying to tell Cory Day when he was going to get that bump from behind. There was a lot of separation in the back of the field. Remember Daytona earlier this year, we had a big checkup on the start. Thankfully, everyone got away cleanly.
You see Jesse Love already moving around, trying to manipulate the lanes, stall a lane out, pull a lane along wherever he wants that.
And remember, the only thing you've done is one lap in qualifying or two. If you we go out.
Patrick Starpoli into the wall. Lap one, early caution at Talladega.
Lock it down. Lock it down.
Looks like only 2 cars involved. Patrick looks like he'll be done. That was heavy contact at the outside wall.
Qualified 14th, and unfortunate for him because he's coming off a top 15 finish, and his best run of the year was in the draft at Atlanta.
And I was just saying how the only laps you've had on track are either one qualifying lap or two made the second round. And this is kind of what I was referencing, is you're all figuring the cars out, especially some of the bumps, and I believe this materialized from just a small checkup down the backstretch, some bumping and inopportune times in the wrong place.
David Starr, you saw there in the 42. He got some damage. David with over 500 career starts in the top 3 series of NASCAR. Other end of the spectrum, the rookie Patrick Starpoli is where it started, getting into the wall.
Yeah, you see the car just go sort of wiggle there. I think that's Sawallich behind him. And I think if you look at where he was hitting, he was getting hit in the left rear. That's usually not the way you want to get bumped at all, but he was most likely checking up for some of the cars in front of them. And this is sort of that accordion effect we sometimes see. Yeah, right there. He's obviously trying not to get pushed, potentially. And that's I'm saying that because I just know in that feeling there, especially farther back in the pack, when you're rows back, there's some unwanted pushing happening, especially early on, that can cause incidents like this.
Looked like Tyler Ankrum making his first ever start, driving that 32 for Jordan Anderson. Also got some damage right in there with Jeb Burton able to sneak through. Also Taylor Gray qualified outside the top 20, going for the Dash for Cash, last week's winner. He was in position to get a ton of damage, able to go from the high lane to the low lane and avoid any contact, it did appear. Caution, lap 1 at Talladega. It's the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series on CW. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by Arby's. We have the meats. The Credit One Bank NASCAR American Express Card. And by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. If you come to Talladega Superspeedway, you're a fan. Two things you got to do. Make a trip to the Boulevard and go check out the CW bar, huh?
Hey,
I like that. Yeah. Found its way to the Midway, seeing it a lot on the circuit here in 2026. Early caution here at Talladega, so the wheeling caution lights are on. The same wheeling emergency lights and sirens you see on the safety vehicles here at the track are protecting first responders in communities all across America. So let's see what happened back straightaway. Opening lap, and all of it begins. Patrick Starpoli right behind him, William Sawalich.
Parker, you referenced it. There's just a little bit of a checkup, and I think it's that Sawalich being behind Starpoli, just not quite lined up. You can see the nose of that car sticking out just a little bit, makes that contact. 48 into the outside wall. This could have been a massive wreck. Look at all these cars. Taylor Gray barely getting by. We rode on board with Jeb Burton. We saw his perspective of that. We're really fortunate only to have 2 or 3 cars with any damage here.
Unfortunately, Tyler Ankrum in his first O'Reilly start gets a little damage there, but popped it right back out, these composite bodies. So I think he'll still be able to run today.
What a long wait for these guys to do qualifying yesterday, sit around all day today, and then make it one lap, not even a whole lap.
It's part of what makes this tough is that you just don't get that time in the car with the with no practice at these speedways to understand the aero effects and how the draft is going to work and all those things. You have to use laps 1 through 5 almost as that practice time to understand what you're going to have there.
And one of the things we talked about was you got to be lucky, and that's the situation, right, where you just there's not a lot you can do when you're behind that. It's a little bit of which way those cars are going. You got to be a little bit lucky, and a lot of guys got lucky right there.
HendrickCars.com onboard camera looking into the eyes of Cory Day, visor down, ready for the restart. You talk about being lucky. A driver that was right in the middle of where that happened, Brent Cruz, never been in the draft before. The last thing he wants to happen, not just from a points perspective, but an experience perspective, is to get eliminated earlier, get damaged, and really not know what you have. So a nice break for the 18-year-old driver from Hickory, North Carolina, coming off back-to-back top 5 finishes. So Day, they're going to control this, Love going to control this thing again. Takes the inside lane. Cory Day to his right. Pace car will go in this time. Drivers will make their way to the Poet restart zone and will return to the green flag. Just over 20 laps to go here in stage number 1 at Talladega.
Interesting choice for Cory to take the outside there. He did a great job, pushing Jesse on that last restart. He's going to have against Josh Williams behind him.
Bottom looks really connected right there. Sam Mayer pushing Jesse Love. Not quite as connected on the top, but see if they can figure that out through 1 and 2.
Now look at those cars dance around though. Everybody trying to push the car in front of them. You see 3 of them, 4 of them on the bottom almost connected as Jesse Love starts to pull away. The 17 though is going to have a really good run right here. See what he does with it.
Day getting help from Josh Williams in the 92. Don't see that car at the front a lot, but he was great yesterday in qualifying and now gets put in the middle.
No.
Raja Caruth comes to the outside. Austin Hill out there as well.
That's what you don't want to happen when you're in Josh Williams' position, where they go to both sides of you and suddenly you're in the middle. No help whatsoever. Most likely, unless he can find a hole here, will just continue to fall back to maybe that's Retzloff that was in the middle.
Look at Mayer sliding out of line.
So interesting to see Cory not take that run that he had. We've referenced how good RCR is at this track and trying to get those guys out of line, shuffle them back, do it immediately. So we see Sam Mayer now with a big run on the outside.
He told us in the pre-race he wanted to get control of this race and get to the front. He's made some big moves here early on to do just that, getting to this top lane. Jesse Love went to the bottom to block that run and didn't have the momentum to hold off the 41 to get to his outside.
3 wide, Junior Motorsports working that outside lane. Kvapil slides up into 1. That blue machine you see there, right behind him, bright orange number 8, the Arby's car, Sammy Smith, and in behind them, Raja Caruth.
So interesting. I was trying to figure out who the blue car was because there's some special paint schemes this weekend, and I hated having a special paint scheme when it came to Daytona and Talladega, because when you're a driver and you look in your rearview mirror, you race people differently based on who they are, and I wanted to make sure everyone knew who I was and which car that was. One car strong on the outside, though, to power all the way to the lead.
He was great in qualifying yesterday, led that opening round for a good portion of time, and he's now in charge here at Talladega. Carson Kvapil flipped last week at Kansas in the early laps, but came to play here today, second here in the fall, and in charge right now. Look at the two of Jesse Love darting around in the inside lane.
He's trying, but the bottom is fading to the top lane, which is being controlled there by Carson Kvapil. Now they get back with the distance difference through the corner right here, but down the backstretch, they were definitely fading, not quite having the momentum that the top side had.
When all those junior motorsports cars are on the outside, as you see Carson now moving down to the middle, but the car we want to keep our eye on is that white and blue car, number 21. So in the last two races here at Talladega, Austin Hill, he is as good of a drafter and in one of the fastest cars as anybody in series history. See if he can get his way to the front.
He's not spent this many laps outside the top 5 when he hadn't been involved in an incident since I don't remember when in the draft.
But there's nowhere to go right now if you're in that position of him. You see they're 3, 4 wide at that. All you can do is try to help the guy in front of you and try to get your whole lane to move forward and get singled out, where then you can start moving around a little bit.
These have been some awesome moves by Love and Kvapil up here. They've been controlling both lanes in tandem at times, moving up to the top side, then towards the bottom as Cory Day hooks up to the back there of Jesse Love, pushes him way out. He clears all the way in the lead.
Mayer trying to give a shove to Kvapil, but not enough momentum to get him by Jesse Love, who covers. Wheeling onboard camera, looking at the man that got his first career victory here a couple of years ago. Love slides high, and to his left, there goes Kvapil to the inside.
The one car might be the guy that can contend with the RCR cars today. Look at the speed he has. He's doing the same thing we've seen RCR for years, where when they lose a lead, they can get it back within a lap, and that shows the speed of that car.
Who's the boss man? Dale Earnhardt Jr.
He was pretty good here as well.
He was pretty decent.
Right.
Won 4 consecutive Cup races here more than 20 years ago.
That was a great move, because a lot of times that position you almost resigned to pushing Love forward, but he just juked to the bottom, had the momentum, and caught in front of Cory Day there. Oh, wow, Cory Day got real sideways to the travel off the nose of Justin Allgaier.
Yeah, we haven't said Allgaier's name, man, that got the championship a couple of years ago, looking for his first Talladega victory, 4th in line, down low, and right behind him, Ryan Sieg, driver 39 with a great history at Talladega.
Carson Kvapil has been all over this racetrack. He was up in line with his junior motorsports teammates, the 3rd lane, then got to the lead. Now you see he's on the bottom. That car works good all over this racetrack.
Let's go down to Dillon 10 laps in.
Well, and Jamie, you nailed it. That's exactly what the one is trying to do today. They want to be aggressive. They want to get to the front and control this race, as do a lot of guys. But Carson told me explicitly yesterday, he said, I feel way more confident here after finishing 2nd last fall than I ever have here. I'm confident being aggressive. I feel better about my knowledge of when to take or pass on runs at the front of the field. I think you're seeing that comfort level showcase here. The one car's fast and the driver's confident.
And he's at the front, so you have a little more control over your destiny. Jesse Love started on the pole, never finished outside the top 10 at Talladega Superspeedway. He's led laps at all 5 of his starts here. And this move was key to get ahead of the curve and take the top spot. It's early at Talladega.
Men, get ahead of your curve.
Test your luck and make your power play by heading to your local lottery retailer to get in the game for tonight's estimated Powerball jackpot of $118 million. The side-by-side on CW is a must, especially when we're racing in a place like Talladega. We go to break. Jesse Love is leading. Sam Mayer in charge, and boy, is he working in the 41.
And the car we were on board there with is Cory Day. He got basically bumped by Allgaier and shoved below the yellow line down the backstretch. It's been furious racing at the front here. Sam Mayer controlling it, but 3 wide for what? 10 laps now? 15 laps almost? We look back at, I believe, the 8 of Sammy Smith gets in the back there. The 2, oh, yep. Just a little bit off-center bump that you'll see.
The wrecks that don't happen at Talladega, Jamie.
Yeah, the one thing that sticks out to me, guys, as we ride on board here with Sammy Smith, we're going to see the shot he's going to give. The 2 car right there. It didn't look as bad from Sammy's perspective as what it did from being outside the car, but the RCR cars don't seem to have the speed that we have seen historically at the drafting style racetracks. I mentioned Austin Hill. You see he's still 3 rows back, kind of in the same position he was 5 minutes ago, not really able to move forward. The 2 car Jesse Love is trying to manipulate lanes, but just doesn't have the car we've seen in the past.
Well, one of the things I'm seeing is Hendrick-powered cars versus ECR-powered cars. You look at the HFT and the JRM cars, those are all Hendrick-powered. They're the ones who seem to be sort of leading right now and being able to control the front of this pack. Jesse Love's doing the best he can, but other than him, I don't see a lot of ECR-powered cars up here as he shoots to the top. Sam Mayer tries to block, not quite.
Are you kidding me? Love said, I'll go to the high lane and I'll take the top spot back. Wow.
Well, that's one of those moves later in the race. Mayer goes up and protects that. Right?
Yeah.
It's early on. You could tell he moved up a little bit. Wasn't quite sure if he was in front of the 2 car. As you see, Love's already using it all. He's being as aggressive as anybody on the track.
And to your point, that's the move that Sam Mayer's practicing almost, to know how far you can push it in that moment. What Love is doing, those are moves you make at the end of stages or to win races. As, wow, the one gets to the outside of him.
That's the second time we've seen Carson be able to do that, give the 2 car a push down the straightaway and just pull out a line and be able to then get the air dumped on the spoiler, gets the 2 now stuck in the middle.
Look at Raja in the 88, sucking up, giving a shove. Raja and Jesse Love, the only 2 drivers that finished top 10 in both of our drafting races earlier this year, Daytona and Atlanta. One is out front, Kvapil in the outside lane, Mayer is there, and it's Love down low. Let's get some Justin Allgaier radio following the 17 of Cory Day.
Hitting him square. I don't know what else to do better. He's super loose, getting pushed.
Yeah, he referenced Cory Day right there. We saw twice in the race so far that Justin's tried to help him, and it's literally turned the 17 car sideways. And that's, it's just a product of the balance of that car, how on edge it is. This 17 car will probably be a good pusher today, but not going to be somebody that you can get on their bumper and shove them forward.
You know, you guys were talking about the moves and the educational process. Jamie, you referenced it in our Keys to Victory Lane today, sponsored by Mobil 1. We're getting down to the end of this opening stage. Going to be 6 to go next time around.
Oh.
This is when you really start thinking about it. And by the way,
4 bottom, 4
that's
bottom.
out of bounds.
Still 4.
That double yellow line. If you put the left side tires below and advance your position, you will get penalized.
Unless NASCAR,
We'll see if he was forced down there. We'll see what NASCAR says.
If they say he was forced there by the 41 of Sam Mayer or not, so that's something they'll look at, but definitely went below the yellow line when you're not supposed to.
Hadn't had a chance to work in that we do have out of bounds at Talladega. and right on cue, there goes Love. We'll await word from NASCAR. And look at the shuffle here. Now Mayer all of a sudden finds himself back in the middle of the pack a little bit, 7 or 8 cars deep.
Yeah, but I want you to pay attention to the guys in second and third as we take another look here at Mayer and Jesse Love. You see Sam goes down to block, and he knows he can't move all the way down. I think, to me, he was forced down.
Yeah,
I think that's unfair.
I think it was a smarter move to
totally
move down there to protect cars. I think NASCAR will see it that way as well.
Yeah, you see there is a complete gap here. Jesse Love literally just, well, I don't know. He wasn't all the way up beside him right there. That's going to be a really tough call of what NASCAR decides to do.
The other thing is you have to have, I was going to say, it was close, but he definitely had both of his left side tires were below the yellow line.
Uh-oh, look who's leading. We saw this just 2 laps ago. Austin Hill was able to drop down to the bottom behind his teammate Jesse Love, and of course they're there.
Yeah, but look at Carson Kvapil, going to do it again. As you see, Jesse Love's going to stay committed to his teammate. I know we referenced the tension between those two last week with Jesse Love getting to the outside of the 21 and pulling him around. Austin was not happy, but they met this week, had a meeting, felt like they both learned from it. I thought Jesse Love's interview was very interesting about just trying to learn from his mistakes, and today they're going to have to be friends.
Well, if ever you were going to bury the hatchet with your teammate, do it before you come to race here, because you're going to need help in the draft, and these two are so good together. And now, thanks to O'Reilly Auto Parts, we listen to 21 Team Radio. Derek Needland on the spotter stand calling the shots for Austin Hill.
So half off 17. Coming to 4 right here. 4. 3 bottom. Half off 17. Still nothing in front of the shoe when you get there. Still 3 bottom. Your health 1 off now. Bottom of 3. Here comes your health. 3/4. Half. Still half. Stalled out. Good in front of the 2. Good to push. Good to push. 17's coming to push you. Still good to push. They're staying middle, top, in front. Still good to push. 2 feet out the back. Half out the back, stretching on him. 3/4. Still 3 bottom.
The amount of thoughts that you process at a race like this in a lap is exhausting. And as a driver, you're making decisions, and I always use that spotter as kind of a verification. Like, already I'm thinking something, they're painting a picture for you, and if they say what you're already thinking, that's when you can make that move. And he gives you information, Parker. It's not only what's happening behind you, but it's what's happening in front of you.
Yeah, and that's one of the more important parts, especially if you're the pusher, is what is happening in front of the car ahead of me, because I can't see if I'm going to push. Yeah, if I'm going to push the way you need to push, I need to think there's nothing in front, or I need to know what's happening in front. That's very good info this game. But Sam Mayer was shoved out of the lead, fell back to 15th or something, and now back to the front of the field.
In laps, he made it back to the front. I think the 2 fastest cars today, as we see Love trying to get to the inside again, are the 2 cars on the outside. That's the 2 they're going to have to fight for the win today. Carson Kvapil and Sam Mayer seem to have the 2 best cars.
Going to be 2 laps to go. Opening stage at Talladega, this time by through the tri-oval and by the start-finish line right there.
The thing that Carson has going for him is a lot of teammates behind him. As you see Sammy Smith, they both pull down to the bottom now. That's Raja Caruth and the 88 on the top. But Mayer, again, was shuffled out at the tri-oval. It looked like he was going to be in trouble. Still going to be in a position to get some great points.
And you got 3 JRM cars on the top. They need to do the best they can to control this right here. They have this right now. If they work together and not race against each other to try to control the front of this field towards the end of the stage, remember, those JRM cars have not always worked together the way that they want.
And Creed, who's Mayer's teammate, actually goes to the outside, elects not to help him in that situation.
Hey, something to keep in mind here as we get 1 to go in the stage. Justin Allgaier perfect this year, has scored points in every stage. He's 12th as we come back to the start-finish line this time. His teammates in control. The 1 is Carson Kvapil. The 8 is Sammy Smith. Sammy won here a couple of years ago. Carson looking for his first career victory. And give some love outside lane 31 of Blaine Perkins, who got his career best finish here last fall. He's in the mix. Down the back straightaway, final time, stage 1.
There's a ton of energy on the top lane there, led by Raja Caruth, but he just got blocked there by Sheldon Creed. We'll see if any sort of run materializes.
Dean Thompson giving a big push to Mayer right there. Actually got Mayer loose. Now Thompson's going to go to the outside.
Oh, wow, a big bump there by Sammy Smith into the back. His teammate Kvapil, he drops to the bottom, but there's no help behind him.
That 8 car, the only one from Junior Motorsports that is not won in 2026. Sammy to the inside, Carson Kvapil to the outside, back to the line, photo finish to end stage 1 at Talladega. Teammates side by side, how about it?
That was one of the best Super Speedway stages I've ever watched in the O'Reilly series.
Incredible. From the very beginning, 3 wide.
All over the place.
I'm going to call it unofficial right now, but unofficially, Carson Kvapil wins the stage by 5/1000ths of a second, and we just got confirmation. It's his 3rd career stage win. First time he's done it at Talladega. His teammate Justin Allgaier hit the wall and finishes the stage outside the top 10. There's the finish. Stage 1 completed Talladega. It's the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series on CW, brought to you by Arby's. What a thrilling finish. Let's take a look at today's clean pass of the day. Brought to you by Dude Wipes. Wet cleans better than dry. Kvapil by 5/1000ths of a second to the line. Career stage win number 3. That was awesome.
That was amazing. Is that a pass? I guess it technically is to the line, but that is as close as it gets. Wow.
Let's not get caught up in the details.
Yeah, semantics there. Yeah, my bad.
Leave it to Parker to challenge how we manipulate things here in our broadcast. So now we get a crucial point of execution for the teams, because we talk so much about the draft and it's the great equalizer and all that. But track position is enormous. You want to be in control. By the way, riding with Jesse Love, we got a ruling from NASCAR. That move he made below the double yellow line, deemed all good. He was forced down there, no penalties coming there, but something to keep in mind as the afternoon goes along. Carson Kvapil leading them down. Progressive pit road is open. Here's Kim Kuhn.
And Sammy Smith grabbing some of those coveted stage points, finishing P2. He said balance okay, just a little squirrely in traffic. He said pretty good, it's drivable. Speed though, 8 out of 10. I could use a little bit more, stick to the plan. That plan, 2 tires, but looks like maybe an issue right there. Slow stop getting out of the box. Dylan?
Sheldon Creed said handling was good, car is good, I'll just take a bag of ice. Raja Caruth said that he was freer on the top lane than the bottom lane. They'll change 4 tires, make an air pressure adjustment, and add a chassis adjustment as well. Carson Kvapil said that he was tight some places, loose others, but they settled on tight exit as the final diagnosis.
Race off Progressive pit road, 1 in front of the 2. Plus 17 for Brandon Jones. A host of different strategies there when you talk about the way you manage things and the service you receive. We'll reset the running order when we come back. NASCAR on the CW is brought to you by Arby's. We have the meats. Progressive. Save when you bundle motorcycle, RV, and boat insurance. Visit progressive.com. And by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people. Getting ready for stage 2 at Talladega. Let's go down to the Arby's pit box and Kim.
Yeah, taking in the views from the Arby's pit box. And then speaking of views, every driver views Talladega a little bit differently. And I got a chance to slow down and sit down with Sammy Smith to talk about his season so far, as well as what he thinks about the racing here this weekend. And what I found most interesting is that his view on what it takes to be successful at this track. Oftentimes we hear teams say you have to have luck, and Sammy said, yes, you do need some luck, but it's only about 20%. The other 80% about having a good day here at Talladega is your preparation and your skill. He's hoping the prep and skill he has results in a second career Talladega win. However, a slight hiccup on that last pit stop. We saw him late out of the box, so let's take a look back at the pit stop. They did take 2 tires, no major adjustments, so you'll see that pit stop here. He just did not get the car pointed in the right direction, taking the blame. Let's listen to Starkey in-car communication from Sammy Smith.
Yeah, it was me. I saw it too late and did a bad job getting pointed out, so I'll be better next time.
Well, the point is everything. If you can get the nose pointed out when you dump the clutch, you're already going the right direction. When you're pointed the wrong way, the car tends to leap forward, and there's a car in front of you, and there's just nothing you can do it.
Yeah, so you see he's pointed this way, right? What he really wants is his car to be pointed this way, getting out of the box to your point. And the way you do that is you have to prep the brakes a little bit. You have to get all those things heat up. Remember, you're not touching those that often in the draft, in the pack. So under the caution laps there, you sort of prep the car to get slid into the box correctly so you can exit. It's as important to exit as it is to get into the box correctly.
And the one thing that's tough at Talladega is, first off, the pit boxes are slick, but you're also going so fast on the track for so long that when you get to pit road, you feel like you have slowed down enough. Yeah. And then you go to stop in your stall and you're like, I've overshot it here.
Getting ready to begin stage 2. And you look at the victories this year for Junior Motorsports. The one car number that's missing is the 8 of Sammy Smith. But Kim talked about here at Talladega a couple of years ago. Everybody in the top 10 got 2 tires on that cycle of stops, with the exception of Brandon Jones, who went fuel only. And the first car on 4, Raja Karuth, who was 11th prior to the choose. Carson Kvapil in control as we begin the second stage at Talladega. Up there, Harrison Burton got stage point, stage 1, and in good position on the restart, getting a shove outside lane from Austin Hill.
Well, Austin's done a great job to stay locked onto the rear bumper. You see the momentum they're going to have. Carson's all by himself on the bottom. Big speed on the outside.
You're allowed to do that. NASCAR just wants you to detach right about there, basically, before you get to turn 3. But look at the run Kvapil's got. He finds the inside of Austin Hill.
Well, he opted the outside lane, got a shove from his teammate, went back to the inside. Now he's going after the lead.
Well, the one car is just not content, and his car is so fast he doesn't have to be. He can pull out. It just looks like whenever he wants and be able to get back to the lead. It's very similar to what we've seen out of the RCR cars for years here.
Wow, Austin Hill
just
got juked there on the top side by Sammy Smith, stuck to the middle. This is something we have not seen in years, being able to take advantage of those RCR cars.
And Parker, you referenced in our pre-race show that getting to have an ECR engine at this track for years was a cheat code. The cheat code has changed now. It's about Hendrick Motorsports. That engine shop has done an amazing job. Every car out here with the Hendrick Motorsports engine just looks like they have a different gear.
We had 4 wide coming off the corner. Same situation here. Oh my, 3 wide is outstanding. 4 wide is unthinkable.
I didn't think we could beat stage 1, but I think we've got a chance. It's incredible.
Look at Jesse Love going outside. Brandon Jones inside as they go around the 1 of Carson Kvapil. 3 wide on point, looking for the lead at Talladega.
And who's going to get the help here? Looks like Harrison Burton's going to get to the rear bumper of Jesse Love. Cory Day got to the rear bumper of Brandon Jones. This is unbelievable. Nobody's content in the lead, and it seems like if you are the leader, you're vulnerable immediately.
Yeah, these cars, there's just not a massive advantage like we've had in the past. Everyone looks like they've got a car capable of getting to the front. Jesse Love working harder than ever with his spotter trying to block these lanes, but You just can't hold on to it for more than about a lap.
How can you block these lanes? The runs are ginormous everywhere.
Look at outside lane. A couple of Toyotas working together. We referenced Harrison Burton. Right behind him, last week's winner, Taylor Gray, going for the dash for cash. The driver from New Mexico qualified outside the top 25 yesterday, but he's in the game looking for his first top 10 at Talladega.
Harrison Burton doing a great job of not getting too aggressive. He's had massive runs off the top of turn 4, but through the tri-oval right here, the cars are not loaded up as much because there's not as much banking. So you have to be very careful pushing there. I think later in the race, we'll see guys be more aggressive. Harrison's done a great job, though, just getting to the bumper and moving them forward.
And this is a big run for Sam Hunt Racing, Harrison Burton. We've talked about their struggles to start this season. This is the type of race that you look forward to in their position. They've had a tough start, but a day at Talladega like this, run up front, you never know what might materialize, but keep yourself up front is a great place to start in terms of having a better day than they've started this year.
We're going to step away, but we'll keep you side by side as we go to break. We look at the Arby's leaderboard, a familiar scene out front. Austin Hill on point, Kvapil, Love, Jones, Allgaier, Harrison Burton, and others up there. Halfway home, stage 2, Talladega, O'Reilly Auto Parts Series on CW, brought to you by Arby's. The racing here is just unbelievable. Let's go full throttle with Sound Gear. Wherever sound is a problem, Sound Gear has the solution. Scan the QR code to learn more at soundgear.com. Turn it up.
Time, 1 back 26, half back 26, just keep the 26 covered here. Half back, he's going to look outside here, outside 3900. Here comes the 54 to pick you up. 2 off 54.
11 to go, stage 2, Sammy Smith out front.
Hardest part of Parker and I's day is to stay quiet during the full throttle with Sound Gear There's so much happening on the track that you want to talk about as we ride on board now with Jeb Burton in the Golden Corral onboard camera. It's a gyro cam. Is that what we're calling this, Parker?
Gyro cam. And look at all the movement in front of him. This is what we've been watching.
Oh, the
for
two
forever. The 2 gets in the back of Justin Allgaier there. Look who's in the top right. That's the 21 of Austin Hill. He was in the lead, controlling this race. Nobody was content. Sammy Smith dropped below him and went right by him. This is unbelievable what we're seeing here today at Talladega.
You know, it's obviously one of the best O'Reilly races we've seen at Talladega. Oh, it's Austin Hill trying to get to the inside of Sammy Smith. But I got to think inside of the cars is just as much fun because you're not single file line. Like everyone's had a chance to go up and lead this race. Carson Kvapil does that same move again. A little bit of a push and then to the outside as we see Austin Hill get to the left rear of the one that kind of bogs him down.
Every set of corners, there's 4 or 5 moves to unpack here as they unfold because there's just so much happening. There's so many runs materializing in places they don't usually. And look at Ryan Sieg pushing Kvapil now out into the lead.
Well, I mean, just think about the give and take. Sam Mayer, so good stage 1, leads a handful of laps. He's outside the top 20. See Taylor Gray here. He was fighting in that outside lane to get to the front of the field. Now he's back in the pack just a little bit.
And Parker, we've referenced the Hendrick Motorsports engines. Ryan Sieg, another one of those cars with one of those power plants in. As you see Sieg up front as well, having a great run.
9 to go, stage 2. That orange and blue car, second in line in the outside lane, is the man that Jamie talked about, Ryan Sieg. And I mention it only because they got some different paint on that car. And that takes me back to what you said earlier, Jamie. You just want to know who's around you, and it's tough here today. And now we get our Powerball power movers. There he is, Ryan Sieg, plus 21 since the restart. And Allgaier, who didn't get stage points, plus 14. He's right in the game.
And I'm sorry, speaking of paint schemes, when we go down the backstretch shot and this shot here, that 8 car to me looks very familiar.
It does, doesn't it?
Because it brings me back to a certain Budweiser 8 car that was pretty famous at this place. I don't know what it is about the side profile, but I keep getting tricked.
I remember when we would come here, it was a Friday afternoon, it's just qualifying. They would push that car out of the garage and the crowd would roar
Yeah,
for qualifying. 8 laps to go, stage 2. CW Sports back live, Talladega, Alabama, with Jamie McMurray, Parker Kligerman. I'm Adam Alexander, Kim Kuhn, Dylan Welsh on the pit lane, and Carl Metz hanging out in the CW garage. Inside of 5 laps to go, second stage. Kvapil out front.
Yeah, Parker jinxed us. He talked about Dale Jr. car and his memories of that car, and now we're riding around single file around the top like Dale Jr. always did here.
In my defense, and I think for the field's defense, they did about 40 laps of the most chaotic racing I have seen in a long time at this place. I think naturally it shifted to the top here. I don't know how long this will last as we get later to the stage, because you've got some really good cars far back, way further back than they want to be right now. But yeah, I was surprised this even happened with the runs that were materializing.
How about this? Last year, RCR swept the 4 stages here at Talladega. 3 wins for Austin Hill, 1 for the guy we're riding with here, Jesse Love. Today, they've got exactly 2 stage points and in position to get none in this second stage. Unbelievable what we've seen and how human they have appeared in the draft today.
Well, and I think some of that is the field is consciously not working with them, and we've seen multiple moves where they've had a choice whether to push one of those cars or not. They're choosing not to. And then, Jamie, you referenced the Hendrick motor-powered cars.
It's because they don't have to.
They don't have to.
Yeah,
like they can pass them,
They're
basically.
not as much faster as they typically are.
Well, and I think this brings up the topic, which is if you are Austin Hill and Jesse Love, find your ECR fellow powered cars. You're going to have to work really hard today if you want to do what you've done in the past, because it's obvious they do not quite have the same pace that some of these Hendrick powered cars have.
Jesse Love started on the pole, up for Dash for Cash, 23rd right now.
We'll regroup here. We'll be all right. They're just dicing it up big time, man. Might not be as bad as we think. I think it's pretty bad.
Well, as a driver, you know, right? Like he's like, listen, it's never been this way for me since I've been in this 2-car in Richard Childress Racing. He's always had one of the quickest cars, and now, well, Jesse's getting experience with the rest of us have experienced the tracks before of not always having the best car. But you know, it's the way racing works. You don't always get to be in that position, and I'm with you, Parker. I don't even know that the ECR group getting together is going to make a difference.
Well, they're going to have to try something, because I know they wouldn't be content with this, with Austin Hill outside the top 10 back in 13th. Jesse Love sitting at 22nd.
The discipline of these guys still single file with 2 to go is incredible, because that's so hard to do. If you're 4th or 5th back in line, the only way you're going to win is to be able to get that 2 wide, start some racing and getting it shuffled up just a little bit. That perspective right here of every time they go in the corner, how much banking there is in the track, you don't feel that inside the car. As we drive into the corner and you see this, inside of the car, it honestly feels pretty flat inside.
Well, this hurts my brain. I said this yesterday. It confuses me a little bit.
You turn your head?
I turn my head to the left, because I'm like, it's not how it goes.
It just doesn't seem real, honestly, to your point, Jamie. Mitch of the Dash for Cash, 3 of the drivers up for it inside the top 15. Allgaier, the best of the bunch, 1 to go. Second stage coming across the start-finish line here. Kvapil, who won the opening stage by inches over his teammate Sammy Smith, leading teammate Justin Allgaier now.
Yeah, and if you're Allgaier, Sieg, Creed, one of these guys, I want to use this as the same way I will at the end of the race. If we get in this same situation at the end of the race, I'm going to start trying to back up my corner, get a run generated. What can I do in order to get by the 1 car out front?
And I look further back than that. You got Dean Thompson there in the top 5. Harrison Burton, a huge stage here. Possible for Sam Hunt Racing. His Austin
black
Hill
marks from Austin Hill.
Goes all the way to the bottom there, trying to go around Raja Caruth.
Both he and his teammate have flirted with that double yellow line today, and now they're getting out of shape at the front. Allgaier inside looking for the lead. Sieg goes with him. Creed right behind him. Coming back to the green and white checkered flag. We hit the tri-oval. Allgaier out front. And here he is, back to the start-finish line. It's Justin Allgaier winning stage 2. A junior motorsports sweep. When you talk about the stages today, Kvapil got shuffled out. Sieg was 2nd, Creed 3rd, Thompson and Retzloff getting good stage points. Missed out on stage points for the first time this season in stage 1, but he's back on top. Allgaier in command at Talladega. Stage 2 complete at Talladega, so the wheel and caution lights are on. What you're seeing on the track right now is the same Whelen emergency warning technology used by police, fire, and EMS vehicles across America. Trusted every day to protect those who protect us. Incredible finish to Stage 2. Just like Stage 1, we get our golden moment brought to you by Golden Corral. Teammates going at it again. This time, Allgaier gets Carson Kvapil.
Carson was control there, but just couldn't protect the move to the bottom by Justin Allgaier. Then top side, no way to fight back, but still doing a great job by Carson Kvapil through these first 2 stages.
How about Dean Thompson? Top 5 in both stages, first time in his career. Both Sam Hunt cars getting stage points in both stages today. Harrison Burton has delivered. For Justin Allgaier, career stage win number 4 at Talladega, also his 4th of 2026. Now you have to execute on the pit lane. We talk about that small bobble for Sammy Smith the last time around, and we've seen what being in control means in this race. Kvapil today has led 22, 12 for Jesse Love from the pole. Mayer led 7. And Allgaier's led 4 laps here today. And he's in charge as we anticipate these pit stops. Progressive pit road is open. Allgaier and everybody else coming down, Kim.
Including Dean Thompson has earned the 3rd most points so far this race. You see right sides only is going to be the call. Chris Bowen, the crew chief, reminding him go on the jack because we have to pack it full of fuel, Dylan.
Justin Allgaier said he was lacking a little bit of left rear lateral, but otherwise pretty sporty. They'll change 4 tires to keep him on offense. Right sides only and a chassis adjustment for Ryan Sieg. And Sheldon Creed at the bottom, stage point scoring leader, said he was still pretty happy with the race car. 4 tires and fuel for the 00.
We get the race off Progressive pit road, and it's plus 12 here for Sieg, who jumps out there. William Sawalich, rather, jumps in front of Creed and Sieg, and we'll reset the running order when we come back to Talladega. As we head into the next stage of the race, it's the perfect time to slow things down with Arby's new Slow Smoke Barbecue. While the cars are hitting the track at top speeds, Arby's is doing barbecue the opposite way. Smoked slow, low, and worth the wait. The Arby's barbecue sandwich comes loaded with either smoked pulled pork or chopped brisket, paired with your choice of sweet or spicy barbecue sauce. Or get your barbecue on top of Arby's creamy white cheddar mac and cheese bowl. Scan the QR code to order now in the Arby's app. Arby's, we have the meats. Let's go to the CW Garage in Carla.
Yeah, Adam, if you can't win today's race, you'd like for it to be a solid points day. So let's take a look at the guys who have done the most with that opportunity today. Of course, Sheldon Creed leading the way here. Carson Kvapil, 15 points. Dean Thompson, the 26, getting 13 today. But let's talk a little bit more right now about Parker Retzlaff, coming off a season worst after one of his best starts to the season. But he told his team this week what happened at Kansas was not our fault. Now he comes back to a drafting track, trying to back up a runner-up finish at Atlanta. He's had at 3 top 10s in the last 5 races. Parker, of course, giving all the credit to his team. He said, this is some of the best management and ownership that I've been around in my entire career. He entered the race today 11th in the standings. Get this, his 32 stage points to start the season is more than double his total for all of 2025. And of course, he added a few more at the end of stage 2 with that P5 finish, Adam.
Yeah, it's so impressive what he's done, and it speaks to what confidence will add to any young driver. A couple of weepers around the track. We've had some rain here this weekend, so we'll get that cleaned up and begin the final stage after a break. You're watching live on CW. Getting ready for the final stage here at Talladega on CW. Some major penalties.
Oh, yeah.
Blend line violations for, among them, race leader William Sawalich, Ryan Sieg. You had the 00 up there as Sheldon Creed, 26 of Dean Thompson. 7 of Justin Allgaier made a second stop, topped off. He'll be coming from deep in the field. Anthony Alfredo was speeding, uncontrolled tire for Patrick Emmerling. A lot of good cars coming from deep in the field on this restart.
We've jumbled everything up, and now, you know, let's see how it shakes out.
New control car, Taylor Gray, won last week, going for the dash for cash, takes the inside lane. To his right, a man that's won at Talladega twice, and that's Jeb Burton. Leaders coming to the Poet restart zone as we get it going. Final stage in Talladega, Alabama.
I'm Jeb. I love who I've got lined up behind me right here. Austin Hill was incredible pusher on that last restart. Was able to do it all the way down to the middle, or to the middle of the backstretch. You see, he's still committed and hooked up to him. Look where they're going to end up. He's going to be able to push him. You don't want to get too far out. You just want to be able to get you and yourself cleared so you guys can go to whatever lane you want to go.
And there was a huge separation on the bottom there from Taylor Gray to Retzloff behind him, so they never really had a chance in terms of getting to the front or staying at the front there compared to the 21 and the 27 are both going to clear contact. Wow. Brent Cruz hits his teammate, Taylor Gray.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about Toyota all day long today. It's kind of been Chevys at the front, but you mentioned it, last week's winner, Taylor Gray. They've put themselves up front now with a little bit of strategy on pit road. Brent Cruz as well has kind of been running 15th or 20th as Carson Kvapil does the same move again, pushing those guys down the straightaway, pulling out and be able to suck them back and get beside them.
55 laps to go, and now we do our spotter spotlight, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, the 21 team, and the man on the spotter stand is Derek Nealon, who had one jump right in front of him. Let's listen in.
2 feet behind, 2 feet in front. Third lane starting to build momentum now. Here it comes, 2 back. 19's the only one clear of it in your mirror. Here comes half, up tight. Here comes a push. 19's going to fill middle. Middle's back clear if needed. Good to pull on 41 here. Pull until your help comes. Back up. Back up. Still top of 3. Your help's 2 off. Your help's 1.5 off. Going to gain to you quick here. 1 off. 3/4. Half. Top of 3. 3 top. 3 top. 4 top now. 4. 1 lane down is clear. Still going to be top of 3. 3 top. 1 back, 1. His help's 1.5 off him. 1 off. 3/4 off. Still 3 top.
They're 3 wide down the backstretch. One car that's not up front anymore is the 27 of Jeb Burton. He made a slow, indecisive move to cover the top of Austin Hill. You can't do that at the front. He paid the price, falling way back, now trying to work his way through 3 and 4 wide as he just gets the inside of Carson Kvapil there.
One thing I love about hearing Derek Nealon right there talk, though, is the tone of his voice and how calm he was. The spotter can get you fired up or bring you down, and I like how it's just very level-headed. He's just talking to him like he's a friend sitting next to him.
How about Brent Cruz, second place in that 19? Had never seen Talladega in the draft prior to today. He just continues to check every box. Back-to-back top 5s. No practice last week at Kansas. He finishes in the top 5 there and getting it done in the draft today, pushing around his teammate Taylor Gray.
And last week he was racing against Larson, or 2 weeks ago, Zilich and Larson for the win at Bristol. Last week you mentioned he'd never been to a 1.5 miles, was incredible there. Now never been to a super speedway up at the front. This kid is such a fast learner, and it's just, he never ceases to surprise and amaze in what he's able to pick up and how quickly he's able to do it.
And guys, we talk about spotters and drivers working together. I want you to watch Sam Mayer right here. He's the 3rd car back on the bottom. Watch this hole that he's going to fit in right here. Boom, slides up right in front of him, puts him in a perfect position, and that's the driver thinking he's clear, and then the spotter verifying it.
Hey, look down low. Austin Green in the 87, another driver that had never raced at Talladega, shining out here today. Cory Day right behind him, making his Talladega debut. And some of those drivers that were penalized starting to work their way back to the front. Sheldon Creed is there in the 00. He's got a really fast race car. Just over 50 laps to go. We get our Mobil 1 leaderboard at Talladega. Gray up there with Green, Cruz, Day, and Mayer from Talladega Superspeedway. Closed captioning for today's race brought to you by Cerakote, the top detailers in the world. Trust Cerakote, shouldn't you? Well, you talk about guys on the move since the restart, and Sheldon Creed has just been incredible after the penalty. Coming from deep in the field, he was actually leading our Powerball power movers. He's at plus 28. Second car in line in that outside lane behind Raja Caruth. Austin Green, whose dad David has a championship under his belt, continues at the front. And you got Jesse Love back up there. Just incredible what we've been seeing in this race today, and give some credit to Dean Thompson, plus 20 after the penalty.
Adam, people always ask, you know, what makes Talladega so special? What is it about this place? It's this. Look at the racing that we have today. No one really being a dominant car. We're right on board here at HinderCars.com with Cory Day. See the perspective he has. The racing, though, has just been... it's been awesome today. You see him be able to get to the bumper. That's what makes it good. When you can get to the bumper and push the guy in front of you, it moves the lanes forwards and backwards, and it gives guys opportunities, ability to be able to pass. And we've got different players at the front now. You mentioned Austin Green. Didn't see him in the first two stages, and now all of a sudden some of these guys are showing up.
There's different players every 2-3 laps.
It is.
Jeb Burton, who's now third on the bottom right now. I mean, it was 2 laps ago. He was about 4 rows behind that on the top side. It's unbelievable the amount of turnover we're having at the front here today. And it just seems like the runs that generate, you can take them and use them for a long period of time. All these cars so close together. I have been starting to see some very low percentage moves, though. So I feel like the clock may be ticking
for
some of these guys, because there have been some very tight moves.
What he means by low percentage is high percentage of a wreck can happen from those moves. The other thing that's going to happen right now, Adam, is we're going to get into that point of guys maybe making a green flag stop. So you're going to see people trying to work to the bottom, because if you're going to pit, you got to get in the lower lane. You can't pit from those outside lanes. And it always shuffles up the pack as that starts moving around.
And what we had heard earlier today, somewhere between 40 and 43 to go, is when we would see that green flag pit stop here in the final stage. You guys talk about how competitive this race has been. A year ago, 26 lead changes. Spring race at Talladega, we've already had 28 here today. 3 wide at the front right now. And here comes the pole sitter right down the boulevard, Jesse Love in the 2.
He had a run, it disappeared. Now he has Sam Merritt getting to his rear bumper, a bit of a tap down the backstretch, and it just seems like even if you have the run at the front, immediately it's erased by some other car being able to side draft here today, and so they're locked 3 wide for the front.
Got to give some credit to Jesse Love, too. I know that we've talked about RCR not having the cars they've had in the past. He's doing a great job of making the most of what he has. That car, it's not off a long ways. It's just not as dominant as it's been, and he's doing a really good job manipulating these lanes.
And you mentioned the green flag pit stops. Historically, RCR is one of the first to get to pit road. They want to get out of the way the earliest, but if you look at the separation to him, to Austin Hill, it's 4 rows right there. Not many ECR-powered cars around them, so it's going to be interesting to see when they do decide to come to pit road.
Well, they're also trapped in that middle lane.
Exactly.
Got to find your way to the bottom before you can make your way to the pit lane. And we talk about being in control of this race. You know, RCR led almost 90% of the laps in the season opener at Daytona. That's not been the case today. Back to your point, Jamie, they have had to work through some challenges they don't normally face when it comes to competing in the draft. And give some love to Raja Caruth. 88 now showing the way and dancing in front of 3 different lines. And here we go, scheduled stops happening with 43 to go. Love leading a group of Chevys down. Oh, he was hot. Could it be a speeding penalty on the way? Here they are, Kim.
Yeah, including Austin Hill. Actually had planned on coming earlier, but was just stuck on the top. The last 2 stops, they've tightened Austin up. He said he definitely made it better, but the runs are so big today. That or her car just is not as good as it normally is. They finish up service, Dylan.
3 seconds of fuel for Jesse Love, and they're in the same boat. They wanted to pit. I'd heard around lap 67, but just couldn't get to the bottom. Fuel only for the 2. They're down and away.
Yeah, they come 43 to go. 6 different cars came together there. Raja Caruth in control right behind him, Sheldon Creed.
And it was on cue. That was all ECR-powered cars getting down to pit road right there. They're usually the most aggressive on being the earliest to do that. I do wonder about Jesse Love in terms of that tire as well. Didn't take tires. That's going to be risky, especially if he has a vibration that can put them in a really bad spot.
You see right here, this is Jesse Love. See him come from like the middle lane. He starts to get slowed down, almost hits that oil dry right there. starts to lock up that left front. I'm telling you, it doesn't take much to create a big vibration at the speeds they're running here. It's a long ways to slide that.
Austin Green, Jeb Burton, teammates from Viking Motorsports, Anthony Alfredo, Parker Retzloff, a part of that group that came down with 43 laps to go.
The big thing we'll have to watch right here is just the lap time difference from that first group that pitted over the next couple of laps until this group pits. These guys are running 51:20s right now. We'll see what kind of lap time those 6 cars that pitted together can make.
Yeah, and just another part of that is we see some more hitting pit rows. The 21 fell way behind that pack he was with, so he's lost the track.
Hang on.
Look out! Toyota's coming down here. I believe that was William Sawalich who almost had it get away from him. Contact for the 18, Kim.
Yeah, you see William Sawalich. He also has his teammates in the 54 of Taylor Gray. They'll take fuel only. He did say tight late exit.
Well, there's no doubt that the 18 is going to get I can't imagine he won't get a speeding penalty right there. That could have been massive wreck for all those guys coming down. Once that tire starts sliding, it's like being on ice. There's nothing you can do about it. Just barely made contact between Brandon Jones and Brent Cruz.
Well, and how much damage does Brent Cruz have on that right front? It was pretty hard hit by his teammate Sawalich there, so we'll see if they're able to get away with that as the Toyotas now exit. It was majority Toyotas in that pack, and here's that ECR pack led by Jesse Love. One car you don't see there I referenced before, the 21 in Austin Hill. He's way behind this.
The one thing about that group of 6 cars, you mentioned the EC guys that are guys that pitted, they're running about a half second slower a lap right now. So if these cars out front, now they're going to get a little bit of a draft here, so this is going to help their lap time. We'll look, but they've lost a little bit of time versus these guys that have stayed out and are running this a little bit longer.
By the way, Sawalich was speeding, so he'll have to come back down the pit lane, do a pass-through penalty. He's leading this group right here as we start to see the merge of those 2 groups of cars that have already made their scheduled green flag pit stop. And the drivers you see here at the front of the field yet to come down. A lot of JRM Chevys that you would anticipate will make pit stops together. But when will they do it?
Well, I like the position
right here. 39 laps to go. They're going to come down, and a whole bunch of them making pit stops here, led by Raja Karuth. Kim?
That's right. We'll also see Sam Mayer in. They said when the cars wave in front of you, it's time to come. So spotter Kevin Hamlin said the cars are coming. Do you want to come, Jay? He meant Jason Trencher. He said absolutely. They'll put fuel only. Really happy with that race car all day long, Dylan.
Raja Karuth had inherited the lead there in that cycle. 4 seconds of fuel is all they need on the 88. Right side of the screen. We'll watch it and count it. Fuel nozzle plugged in. They're waiting. There's the 4 seconds for the 88.
Strength in numbers. First set of cars that came down, there were 6 in the pack. Second group, there were another half dozen right here. 15 cars coming down, making green flag pit stops, and now we wait for the blend coming off of turn 2. Jesse Love has got that group in tow. Plenty of speed as they come through turns 1 and 2, and the others come off the pit lane.
Well, we got to watch how aggressive are they going to be blocking. NASCAR said they would be watching this down the backstretch. You can move up, but you can't cause a wreck. Look at the speed difference of 2.
That move there.
One car.
Wow.
Kvapil's the one.
Oh, my
I would
goodness.
really be worried about is Jesse Love shucks and jives through the field and trying to gain position on those slower cars coming off pit road.
That killed the momentum of the 2. I think he maybe could have gotten to the front right there, but he had to check up because of both Allgaier and Kvapil.
And it'll be interesting to see what NASCAR thinks of that. They did point out, as you said in our meeting earlier this week, about that sort of blend and how aggressive you are, like the 1 car, Carson Kvapil, in terms of when you blend up. If it's later down the backstretch, that's fine, but when there's a huge speed discrepancy, that's not what they want to see.
Yeah, I saw the 88 right here. He's going to get a speeding penalty. Raja Karuth, very similar to what we saw Sawalich. He locked the brakes up, wasn't able to get slowed down, was really low. Not quite as bad, but just too quick in that first segment.
Okay, the top 5 cars in the bumper yet to make a pit stop. Poole, Smithley, LeVar Scott, Josh Bilicki, Mason Maggio. Once they come down and make their stop, it will be Reed who is in charge of the field. At least that's the way they run right now. This will become the lead pack in what is the battle for the lead. And as they come back around turn 4 through the tri-oval, it'll be 36 laps to go.
Wow, what a set of events that have unfolded here.
You know, we don't get to practice anymore in the draft. And one of the things you always see drivers practice is that mock run to pit road under green, anticipating these situations. And when you don't have it fresh in your mind, these are the things that can happen.
Yeah, and I can tell you, William knew that was happening well before he got to those cars. You see the 21 right here. Stahl is leaving his pit stall.
That's why he was so far behind the pack. Lost, that's just the time you cannot lose when everyone's doing fuel only. To stay with the cars you pitted with as Brendan Poole hits pit road.
Yeah, in fact, all that group that was running up front that had yet to make a pit stop comes down now. Saw Poole there, a driver that's been so good in his history at Talladega Superspeedway. So as they give up the top spot, that will turn things over to this group. The lead pack coming around and jumping back to the front, led by Sheldon Creed.
Creed just quietly getting it done today. He's scored the most stage points. See, now he's put himself in a great position as we take a look. Watch Jesse Love. Watch him zig inside of Kvapil. Now you're going to see Allgaier's going to move down a block. Boom, right back to the top.
Just incredible.
Oh, my God, he's leaving bite marks all the way down the backstretch. Weaving in and out of all those guys. Gosh, look at the speed difference.
Yeah, that's what NASCAR would look at as well. It's just the speed difference. This has become a trend. It started in the Cup Series in the last 2 years, where you've seen teams be very aggressive with trying to stop the run. As we're hearing right now, the 1 and the 7 have been posted for a penalty for blending in front of the leaders here. The speed difference of the cars.
This is simply a safety factor. It's dangerous to pull up. Yeah, absolutely, and they've been warned by this. I'm not surprised at all that they were able to get a penalty for that. You got to give those guys room. You see there's so many cars right here. Look at this. I mean, it's 30 miles an hour difference.
Easy.
It takes almost a turn 4 to get up to speed, and these guys know that. Yeah, that could have been a huge wreck again.
And it stemmed from the Cup Series, where it's so important to have track position. We know it's important here, but
You're
yeah,
moving
you
up
do
to
it on
slow the
purpose,
momentum
and it's
down.
gotten out of hand. NASCAR has noted this, and now you're seeing the repercussions of that, where NASCAR is paying attention to it, letting the drivers know they're looking for those sorts of things, and that was a step too far.
Could very well be a race-winning move when you're able to avoid a problem like Jesse Love did there. And now the 2 is back on point. Let's get their team radio.
Okay, so my tires are it's not going to blow, right? It's just going to be annoying. If it's just going to be annoying, then I can deal with it. But I've flat spotted the pile up front, trying to get down.
Well, we saw this, and you can hear it.
Literally,
like
his voice.
You can't necessarily see it inside the car, but you can hear the vibration. And the fact is, Jesse, they don't know if that's going to blow. It's a maybe, may blow, may not. That's a scary place to be in. Is
Justin Allgaier radio now. He just came down and made his pass-through penalty after coming up and having the blend line violation.
Getting a penalty for impeding cars that remained on a racetrack. I don't know what that means. I mean, if they watch every Cup race, it's exactly the same.
So you know what, I talked to Eric Peterson, director of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, about this when he mentioned it to us earlier this week. He said it was actually the Cup race last year that really had them talking about this.
they've got to get it under control.
Yeah, they detailed it with us, and he said to me, it's going to be a blend line violation is how we would describe that and define it. A lot more detail given there from the spotter stand. Bottom line is, both the 7 and the 1 of Kvapil are going to need a caution to get back in this thing.
And to close the loop on it, what NASCAR wanted them to do was to stay low on the backstretch, let the faster cars go around the outside, and he most likely, if that had happened down in turn 4 where the speed discrepancy was a lot lower, not a penalty.
This has just been some kind of race, and we've still got more than 30 to go. You're watching the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series live from Talladega Superspeedway. Glad you're with us on CW. Just remarkable what we're seeing here at Talladega Superspeedway for the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Our coverage on CW brought to you by Arby's. And the exchanges at the front and the lead changes that we have had today, just remarkable. It's been so entertaining.
The fact that these guys have been able to run 3 or 4 wide, the amount of passes for the lead, and that we haven't had any wrecks at this point, it's been incredible to see what the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series has been able to put on here at Talladega. Just an awesome, epic event.
Sammy Smith on point.
Oh, hang on.
Boy, 3 wide
Jesse
back
Love.
there behind Ian Sieg.
Kicking up dust.
Yeah, Corey Day thought he was high until Jesse Love put it to the outside.
I tell you what, whoever wins this race is just going to be in a heroic situation for everything they will have had to deal with. Love getting out of line again. It's time to go full throttle with Sound Gear. Wherever sound is a problem, Sound Gear has the solution. Scan the QR code to learn more. It's soundgear.com. Turn it up.
Clear, then side by side. After the 39 is clear on exit, Barry to move up. Moving up, half back. Still out there, still there. Still one in front. Coming back 26, 2-6. Half in front.
Laps to go. We talk about how competitive this race has been. You look at the bumper, so many different teams represented inside the top 10. And oh, by the way, we've got $100,000 on the line. Best of the bunch going for the Dash for Cash. Jesse Love and last week's winner, Sheldon Creed. Creed, who was penalized at the end of stage 2, but is right back in the game. And look at teammates from Jordan Anderson Racing, outside lane. Blaine Perkins, Jeb Burton, as Jesse Love jumps out front again.
And for Jeb Burton, if you watched our pre-race, you know how close he came to winning this race last year. He teared up in a piece looking back at that, and how close he was, and how much it means to win races, or at least have the chance to win races in the O'Reilly Series. He's been keeping up front as he just gets shoved to the middle there by Sam Mayer, but he's been fighting up here best he can throughout this race. What a huge day this could be.
And one thing to keep in mind, guys, if you're in this lead pack right now, the winners of the first stage and the second stage have been penalized in this stage, and they're now not a factor in this. So you've potentially eliminated 2 of the best cars racing for the win.
Well, and Anthony Alfredo, qualified in the top 10, has been competitive all day long. They had the speeding penalty, and he too, who was penalized, now has lost a lap. As you saw the leaders go around him, Alfredo gonna need a Creed, who's up there, he lost his dancing partner, but I will say he's got an alliance car there with Ryan Sieg.
He's going to be able to stay on. He's going to maintain. You see Parker Retzloff gets a little bit of a run right here. Just barely made contact. Almost looked like Sam checked up a little bit right there.
Well, it's like the first took a little bit of air from the spoiler. There's a bit of a movement, and then at that point, you see just a little movement.
He was already spinning, though.
He was already going around. He was getting sideways already. So I thought maybe he could have had a tire going down or something, but he's back up to speed in the back of this pack.
Cannot believe he's been able to maintain the draft here. What a save.
Second here in 2022 was Sam Mayer, heartbroken by A.J. Allmendinger. Let's get some 41 radio here, presented by Starkey. Scan the QR code now.
Really good save there. I think you just got hit in the worst possible spot. We'll get back to work, get back up there. You still got time.
You got 15 laps to go, and normally I would say you're out of it, but based on what we've seen all day today, he might be back up there in just a few laps. We've seen this line, though, has slowly gotten into single file. These guys all trying to put themselves in the right position.
Well, that right there spooked the pack, and it sort of broke it up a little bit and killed the bottom lane's momentum, which allowed the top to form up like this. So now it comes down to that decision point, right? If you look through here, who are the two teammates or set of affiliated cars who are going to be willing to drop down and try to make moves forward? We saw how late they waited in stage 2. I just don't think you can do that here today. You've got to make some moves with the way the runs are. You can generate the run. It's possible. We've seen it all day long.
It's just a big risk. If you're like in Creed's position, unless you can clear the 2-car, by running low through the corner and sliding up in front of him, the risk versus reward, if you don't clear him, you could go all the way to the back and be with your teammate Sam Mayer back in 15th or 18th.
And actually, I saw a car drop down there. It was Sammy Smith who was trying to get the bottom lane rolling.
This will shake it up, though.
Yeah, these are penalty cars that are going to go a lap down. How will they fight? How will they manage the draft as this big group comes from behind them, leading the way?
Man, that's a shame there for Raja Karutz, who's one of the lead of those cars that's about to be lapped. Thinking he went from leading.
The cars are wrecked and they're way off the pace. See Sammy Smith all by himself.
He's not giving up.
Down there on the bottom. He's like, please, somebody pull down here and go with me.
Trying to get his first win of the year. A lot of drivers inside the top 10 going for their first career victory. In position to get it done. Let's get an update. Brandon Jones. Here's Dylan Welch.
Well, I think this kind of day is representative of just what this 20 team does so well, and that's execute. Last week at Kansas, they felt like they had Brandon's best intermediate car ever, as we do a Toyota driver update here on the 20. They felt like it was his best car ever at one of his best racetracks, and they had that penalty and ultimately didn't get the victory. Still scored a lot of points, though, and that was the bright spot that Sam McCauley pointed out. They came here this weekend knowing that their luck, as you guys talked about, was not the best at these places, but just wanted to take care of this race car, make it to the end. That was goal number 1. They're there for now and running 5th, and this would be one of Brandon's best runs on a super speedway if they can hang on to it.
Well, he's in a good position, but I think in his position, it is one of the hardest places to make a move because you've got to take that risk, as you mentioned, if you're going to be one of the ones that drop down. And when you're further up front, like a Sheldon Creed or Blaine Perkins right there, who would love this great finish, you're almost locked in that position because you think, I just can't give this up. It's going to have to materialize behind me. So it sort of moves back to the pack on who's going to take that risk.
The one thing that Sheldon Creed's going to know, though, is we ride along, and you see the gap between both he and Jesse Love, the leader right there. It's half a car length. What you'll do is you'll try to back off of that guy a little bit and almost back up into Ryan Sieg, who's behind you. You'd like for the 2-car to get a couple of car lengths out. Then if you can get hooked up with the guy behind you, you generate the speed, you get a little bit of draft, and you can try to make that happen. I haven't seen Sheldon trying to do that just yet. With 10 laps to go when they cross the line right now, I would start working on that, though, so I can figure out my timing of how I'm going to make that work.
Love has led 33 laps today. Let's get team radio presented by Starkey.
Remember, everything you learned about the situation we're in right now, that 00 is extra cash, guys. So he's going to do whatever he can. We just have to be smart. You studied this. Do it all right. You got this.
So what he's talking about, what you learned, it's all the things we talk about when you prep for these races. You watch tape back, you watch onboards, and one of the things you pay attention to is how do guys like Austin Hill or Jesse Love control the pack, and what are they doing inside that car with the pedals and managing the distance between their car and the car behind them. So that's what he's referencing as a spotter. And a lot of it is what position, you know, how much throttle you're using when you use the brake, and not letting yourself get too far out, but then also not making yourself vulnerable to them taking a run at you. It's a fine balance.
The hardest thing to do leading in Jesse Love's position is to roll out of the throttle.
But he's doing it a ton right now, I promise you.
Totally is. It's so hard, though, inside to lift, to keep that gap where you need it, because if you mistime that and Creed gets a little bit of a run and you roll out of the gas, you're almost more upset that you just I should have stayed wide open and hoped the timing worked out for me. But there's so much management going on inside of the 2-car right now.
5 drivers inside the top 10 looking for their first career win. The man that won the championship a year ago, winless in 2026. But Love back to the scene where he picked up his first career win 2 years ago, right here at Talladega Superspeedway, going around some really good cars that had penalties to put them a lap down. 8 laps remain at Talladega.
And look at Raj's trying to do here. He wanted to block this pack and get to be leading it.
Oh, this could be big if Jesse Love can't get back up in front of it. It's going to shake the whole thing up as Creed is now to his inside.
And that was the correct move for Raja to do that. He had enough speed compared to them to try and cover. But this is definitely breaking up the pack a little bit. Could form 2 lanes.
Oh, that's exactly what Jesse Love does not want to see, though, because that puts him in an incredibly vulnerable position.
Oh, yeah, look at this. This has done it right here. There's going to be multiple lanes now because of this.
Yeah, this is what we want. This is what Jesse Love doesn't want. Yeah. It's what we want, though, watching here. Oh, you see Raja get sideways right there. That's Cory Day, sorry.
Held on to it, and you see who's leading that bottom lane. That is Jeb Burton. I thought, as he was sitting there back in 5th, I thought that is the car that could take the risk earliest to try and move this forward.
They're 1-2 on track. They're 1-2 chasing the dash for cash. Love and Creed, 7 to go, and the energy and the lead pack has changed thanks to some lap traffic.
Jesse Love still trying to maintain that gap, but he's also going to have his spotter telling him exactly what's happening on the bottom. Is that lane moving forward? He'll be looking in his mirror. You can kind of see how fast those cars are coming. They're going to gain a lot through the middle of the corners just because of the distance. But then as you watch, when they exit the corner right here, that bottom lane, it'll fade just a little bit. But if he can just maintain with the 3rd place car of Ryan Sieg there on the outside, when they get down to 1 and 2 again, the distance, he'll close up a little bit more and hopefully in a couple of laps be able to be at least side by side.
And if you're Sheldon Creed, you're watching the bottom like this, you're trying to take the runs and just get to where the spotter on the 2 has to stay outside.
Oh, he's there!
He's there, but does he have help for the 39?
Creed coming outside. That's kind of his teammate. Ryan Sieg giving help. 3 wide at the front. 2 is shuffled out. And side by side for the point. Creed outside. Jeb Burton to his inside.
And Jesse Love just had the parachute thrown out on his car. Look at how many positions he's going to lose. Awesome move by Sheldon Creed, though, to get to his outside.
And look who's coming back. His teammate, Sam Mayer, after getting shuffled out. He's 4th in line, down low. Going to be 5 laps remaining at Talladega.
No doubt one of the best stories is that 27 Golden Corral of Jeb Burton. We talked about him in our pre-race show and how emotional he was 1 year ago. Can he have redemption?
And he's so good at this form of racing. You see the moves he's making. He's one of those that has a knack for this, reading the lines of momentum, and is able to throw those blocks when he wants to be aggressive. Has put himself in a great position here, especially if he can get some help from the top side as he moves up there to try and generate that run.
Sheldon Creed's going to be aggressive, though. He's one of the most aggressive drivers in this series.
Last time we raced in the draft, it was Sheldon Creed who got it done. First time in his career, Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta back in February. Had a great run last week from the back to 2nd, won the dash for cash at Kansas. And in charge right now, coming to 4 to go. And as we make our way through the tri-oval and back to the start-finish line, notice where the start-finish line is. It's all the way past the tri-oval in a different spot here than any other racetrack right there, 4 to go.
Also notice that guy on the inside and that red, white, and blue number 17 of Cory Day going for his first win in this series. He's done a great job all day, all race long, staying out of trouble. Has now found himself in a great position.
Hendrick Motorsports has 14 wins here in the Cup Series. They've never done it in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
Yeah, the top lane just lost a lot of momentum there and faded back in the middle, led by Sammy Smith, has come alive right here as he gets to what's effectively third place through the middles there. The top lane just not formed up the way it needed to be.
Jesse Love being really aggressive in the middle. You see he's right behind Harrison Burton, I think trying to give him a shove. Kind of lost his momentum there on exit.
Going to be 3 laps to go this time by. And another thing to remember, once we get the white flag, the next flag ends the race. So you have to manage your move properly if you're trying to come through and get the top spot. If you wait too long, the caution could come out and end your chances of getting to victory lane.
Watch this top lane right here. Sammy Smith's got a big run. Corey Day's going to have a decision to make. Does he move up and block? He doesn't. Sammy Smith's going to have a big run. And now Burton's going to have that momentum as well.
And look how hard this shot's going to be in the back of the 8. Wiggles him around. He holds on to it down towards turn 3, but he's going to have even more momentum.
Look at Corey Day getting that run down to the inside. Sam Mayer behind him.
Corey Day in a great position right here, but I just think that outside's going to have the momentum. It's going to be all about the help that you can have behind you. Mayer has been a tremendous pusher, though, all day long.
Can't believe Mayer's there. Contact 3 wide. Here comes Mayer on the inside. He's looking for the lead. After he got shuffled out, he's on point with 2 laps to go.
And he wasn't able to clear Corey Day there, so now he's got to hope the help there from Sawalich behind him helps out. He's now 3 wide for the lead. None of them have a pusher.
Oh, and if you're in this front row, it's exactly what you want to see, because there's not really anywhere for those guys behind you except for to give you a push. You just want to try to side draft. As you see the 17 moving up, and now we've got more lap traffic. This is going to get so tight when we get down to turn 1 and 2.
Austin Green was super sideways there. He holds on to it, and Jeb just ran into the back in a big push to Sheldon Creed.
Keep in mind that 18 blue and white car inside lane in that second spot is 1 lap down. William Sawalich 3 wide through the tri-oval, coming to the white flag at Talladega Superspeedway. This is incredible. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Mayer, Day, and Creed fighting for the win.
It's going to be all about how can you time the push from behind you for these front 3. You got to get that help from behind. You got to time it perfectly to have the momentum. It's a 17 clear, Sheldon Creed.
Corey Day in a perfect position right here. He's going to have Creed behind him, giving him a push. Are these lap down cars going to play a factor? I want all you can give me right now. I don't care how loose I get. Just give me the biggest shove you can.
There goes Mayer, out of line. If the caution comes out, the race is over. Day is out front. They continue to crash behind him. Rick Cruz is there. Sheldon Creed is there. No caution yet. There's the yellow.
Wow.
Corey Day out front. His first career victory comes at Talladega Superspeedway. How about that?
Hell yeah, buddy! Dude, you're such a... Oh my God. Never in a million years did I think my win would be in a super speedway.
That's awesome. Really impressive. Every move he made there. All the chaos that was occurring in those last few laps.
But I think we would agree with Corey. Like, if you had to pick a track, it probably wasn't at a drafting style racetrack, but he did a good job putting himself in the right position. I got to be honest, I'm driving his car for him at the end. I'm like, block Cruz, because you could see the 19 had a massive run on the bottom, but he's done a great job all year long. Well deserving to get to victory lane.
Man, Jason Kelsey's going to be some shotgun and some beers down there. He's a good luck charm.
He'll be on the pit sign again. Yeah, Kelsey's going to say, you know, football's hard.
Yeah.
NASCAR's easy.
Yeah.
You just show up and win the thing.
And see Jeb Burton here getting out. Destroyed race car. He got shoved into the wall down into turn 3. And you see the frustration for Sam Mayer right there at the front. Got turned on the final lap down the backstretch.
Well, and and I referenced that there as they came down the backstretch. You hit as hard as you can in those moments. You're just trying to get your lane moving forward, and everyone knows that's the position that you're in.
3rd driver this year to get his first career victory. William Sawalich at Rockingham. Sheldon Creed at Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta. And ironically, Creed was second today to Cory Day. And for Creed, second is good enough 2 weeks in a row to take home the $100,000 in the Dash for Cash. Jeremy Clements finishes inside the top 5. Dean Thompson was 6th. Jesse Love ended up 7th. Austin Green with a top 10. Got to give some credit there. He's going to celebrate here and eventually make his way to Mobil 1 victory lane. What a day for Cory Day, getting it done at Talladega Superspeedway. Sixth driver to earn their first career victory, driving for Hendrick Motorsports. The last to do it for Mr. H, Kyle Busch, over 20 years ago at Richmond.
That is cool, and I think, you know, the point of him referencing, I wouldn't think it'd be at a super speedway, was he's been so fast at the 1.5 miles, the short tracks for sure. Maybe that aligns more of his sprint car background a little bit, but this is so foreign. But he took to it like a duck to water in terms of being able to figure it out and make all the right moves.
You know, he's driving that HendrickCars.com Chevy. You think he'll trash talk Larson? Because, you know, Larson hasn't been the best in the draft. He's like, come on, man.
It's not that hard.
That's right.
You just never know when it's going to happen. They've done such a good job of being consistent top 5 runs so many times this year.
We got to go back and revisit what happened on the final lap, because there was a lot of contact, pushing and shoving, as there always is final lap in the draft.
Yeah, Sam Mayer, that wasn't a push. You see contact from the 18 right there. Got him, shot a huge hit onto the inside wall.
And then you see sort of the calamity that occurs in the midst of the pack there. Jeb Burton got in the wall, then C gets turned up into him, and a lot of cars get collected. This situation of Sam Mayer and Sawallich had just moved to the top. Sam was doing whatever he could to cover, because he knew it's you either do or you don't, right? In that moment, you have to cover that if you're going to stay there. But you look from how far back Sawallich came, he had such a head of steam, he had to make a decision here, and running the back of Sam probably wasn't going to be the best move. Sam just tried to cover too late, gets spun around, and this really jumbles up the pack, and you see Jeb getting the wall there, which then upsets the 39 of Sieg, and they all start turning to each other. Harrison Burton with a hard hit in the outside wall was having a great day for him.
Cory Day from the 3rd row all the way down to the bottom to get back in front of Brent Cruz, who I don't know we've given enough love to him. Didn't really talk about him all day long, but again, top 5 finish for the 19.
I'll tell you what, key to success, stay quiet all day in the draft, finish top 5.
Don't be the story.
That'll work out. And that's 3 top 5s in a row for Brent Cruz.
Gosh, it looked to me like Creed, Burton are all in such good positions here, and then just chaos as it breaks out. You stay on Sam Mayer right here. There's a massive hit on that inside wall. You see he misses that first, and then in the dirt.
And all those pushes, you know, we didn't see this all day. And the reason being is we've had such a clean race, but when you get down this final lap, you take every run and you don't check up, and you just hope it works. And if you're in front of those runs, you take every block and hope it works out, because you just know if you don't, you're not even going to be a factor. And if you do get the magical push or take the magical run, it can lead to being in victory lane.
Look at that run Sammy Smith had on the bottom, helping Brent Cruz. Harrison Burton, the back tires come off the ground. That's a huge, almost flush hit with the outside wall.
Oh,
Jeb Burton's car destroyed. This would be a great perspective as we see he got into the outside wall. It's a little bit bogged him down.
The separation of success and failure at Talladega Superspeedway is just razor thin, and the frustration, you know you had a chance, and Mayer thought it was taken away. Had the big slide coming off the corner, but he continued to fight back and was in position at the white flag, but unfortunately doesn't get the payoff. Second time he's been heartbroken here on the final lap, was second to Allmendinger in 2022. We've talked about that.
Popular win.
Going over to Mobil 1 victory lane. Neat moment for this kid who, you know, had the top 10 streak going and was in position to do it again last week at Kansas, but had those problems in the final stage. Nearly got back to the top 10, finished 12th. Comes here today, someone we didn't anticipate getting it done. He admitted after it was over, I didn't think my first career victory would come this way. But Cory Day managed the afternoon quite well. In it at the end, and when the caution came out, he was the man in charge, and he gets his first checkered flag in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
He's been very impressive
Oh,
this
yeah.
season. You know, the top 10 streak was really impressive. His speed at a variety of different tracks, whether it's the mile-and-a-half, the short tracks, the road course. He just doesn't have many weaknesses in that sense. Obviously, you know, it was a little aggressive early in the season, but has absolutely cleaned that up. And now, with this first win out of the way, watch out the rest of the competitors.
I was so excited when Hendrick Motorsports announced they were going full-time in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. Part-time the last couple of years, putting Cup drivers in the car, but this year belongs to Cory Day, and he's given Mr. H everything he wanted and more.
So there you have it from Sheldon Creed and Brent Cruz, the second and third place finishers in today's running of the Ag-Pro.
What a cool victory lane. Surrounded by fans.
Here's Kim Kuhn.
And this is actually the second win of the week for Cory Day. Won a high-limit sprint car race in Eagle, Nebraska earlier in the week, then caps it off with his first O'Reilly Auto Parts Series win. Man, when you think about what it means to win for Mr. Hendrick, what you dreamt about in terms of your first win, does it match what you thought it was going to be?
Well, I sure as hell didn't think it'd be at a super speedway, so it's awesome. You know, the Hendrick legacy is so strong at super speedways, and my 17 guys just built me a rocket ship. So hats off to Adam, Becker, Jordan, Michael, everyone back at the shop that builds these things every week for me. I feel like we've been close, had a good day at Rockingham, and had a couple other good days, and just didn't finish it off. So it's super cool.
All right, walk me through those last couple laps. You were 3 wide at one point. Lots of stuff was going on. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I thought when I got shucked to the middle there with 5 to go, whatever it was, that was it, and I was going to drop. And I had help. I don't know who it was, but thank you, whoever it was. But yeah, just so cool. I mean, like I said, I did not think it would come at a super speedway. So yeah, it's awesome. Thank you, Mr. Hendrick, so much for believing in a sprint car kid from California that never ran a pavement car in his life before 2 years ago. So yeah, thank you, Mr. H. Jeff Andrews, my biggest supporter. Jeff Gordon, just everyone that believes in me. It's so much fun.
You already had a start to the season. You top it off with a win in the first third of 2026. What kind of statement is this about what the 17 is capable of in this year?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's more capable than I am for sure. So glad to just be, you know, proven that it's as good as it is. And like I said, just thanks to all my 17 guys. They bust their butts every week and do such a great job bringing me fast cars to the track. So thank you, HendrickCars.com, Chevrolet, just everyone on the 17, and with Hendrick Motorsports that believes in me. It's a lot of fun.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Cory Day, a winner in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series.
And he referenced crew chief Adam Wall. Got to give some love there. He's a tremendous leader for this team. Congratulations from Greg Ives, who plays such a big role. Hendrick Motorsports was serious when they said we're doing this full time, and we're seeing the payoff and all the hard work. And today they pay it off at the highest level. Celebrating in victory lane. Give the checkered flag to Cory Day. He does it for the first time in his career at Talladega Superspeedway.